welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 8. I do believe. Is that right?
Yes, I think so.
We're going to talk about Chris and Nicole this episode. Everybody's back. We finally get to see an expert chime in. Chris and Nicole might be, I don't know, the least of these couples to need the experts, which doesn't say that much. They start off by having Nicole meet Chris's dog, right?
Dogs.
Plural, yeah. I don't remember their names. Don't ask me. I have no idea what their names are. They're two kind of bigger dogs. And they seem to be pretty friendly, albeit not as well trained as her dog. I think, we got to see him a little bit later. But they seem to take to her pretty well, so there's no issue there. He's absolutely thrilled. And then also, let me start off by just saying, I know we talked a lot about Chris's meltdown about his dogs last week. Yeah. And we talked about Nicole's handling of it. And then I did see the comments of a few of you saying, it was like she was talking to her child. And I agree with you. I don't disagree with that at all. The reason that I say Nicole did a good job handling Chris is because he was acting like a child. I mean, I too have a small child. And yes, we would get down on her level and talk to her if she were having a meltdown. Yeah. But that's what was happening. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how she could have better dealt with someone who had childlike behavior aside than to treat him like he was behaving. Right? I don't know. I mean, and this is what I had a problem with him last week, which is why I was saying, he has to have better conflict resolution than that. Yeah. As an adult, as a man, as a leader in a relationship, like you expect more from him than that. Yeah. I did. I certainly did.
Well, I understand that. I mean, because a grown man is expected to manage his emotions. I've said it 100 times now. There's nothing wrong with a man displaying emotions. We all have emotions, but it is unacceptable when those emotions overtake a grown man. It should be managed. None of us are 17 anymore, so it should be managed. I would never say control your feelings. You can't control how you're going to feel, but you can manage how you're going to respond. Mm-hmm. And as a grown man, I'm not sure how old Chris is.
He's in his 30s.
To just completely fall apart.
With no ideas, no options, no presentation of how about we try this? That's my biggest issue. But I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole. We did that last week. I just wanted to address that because I didn't want you guys to think that I didn't agree with you. I do think it's bizarre to handle any adult, male or female, that way. Mm-hmm. But if they're behaving that way, I don't know a better way to meet them where they are. Yeah. Because what her other option is to be like, hey, look, I need you to man up, homie. Like, and I don't think that would have been received well. So what do you do?
You get down on your knee, one knee, like she did,
and console him, like
and
he's
you
6.
Try to console him. You know, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna move forward in this, and everything is gonna be okay. Yeah, there's nothing more else what you can do.
So they go to a dog park. They bring the dogs together. Nicole's dog, I believe his name is Charlie. Yes. Again, I don't remember the other two dogs' names.
I remember the name Charlie.
And her dog is very well behaved, very mannerable. The other dogs are kind of, very excited and losing control. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh goodness, this is going to be a Justin and Alexis situation revisited. But it wasn't that bad. It was more so barking than certainly not any biting. Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah. They were some very active dogs. They were jumping all over.
Yeah. And they're real furry. And the fact that he lets them in the bed so freely.
Mm-hmm. And they're not small dogs. They're not small dogs.
No, not at all.
So, and do they have a bigger bed other than king size bed? Because they're going to need a pretty huge bed.
They need their own bed. in bedroom. Like, there's just, if they have to be in a bed, I mean, like, it's not going to be my bed with his dogs there. No. But, I mean, if they like it, then I guess I love it. It's whatever.
Yeah, not my bad, but go ahead.
So, that worked out fine because Nicole was really acting like their relationship hinged upon whether or not their dogs were able to get along, which to me, again, is something that's foreign. I don't understand that. I definitely put people before animals, but people have their different ways of treating their animals. They definitely treat them like family or their kids or something like that. So it matters to them.
Yeah.
It worked out. That's great. I guess after Nicole saw Chris's dog humping on the bed, she was ready to go. So she gave him some. I don't, you know what? Yo, I'm just going to leave it there. They had sex, and I hope it wasn't premature. But one of the things that my husband was commenting on is that Chris suddenly seems to have a little bit of drawback.
Yes.
Right? And I don't know, of course, if it's related to their intimacy or what it could be caused by. But for this couple, what we've been seeing is all systems are go. And then they get to a conversation that he brings up about their leases coming to an end. And then it's, maybe we shouldn't let's not get hasty here and move in together. So what do you think that was about?
Now when me and my wife spoke privately, I said, well, maybe that sex wasn't as good as they were maybe hoping or something, because he did kind of come out of left field with that. He's been on target, on board with everything except for this moving in thing after this 8-week process is over.
I do not think it was the sex, though. I mean, this is a man who's been celibate for like 2 or 3 years. Like, how bad could it be?
Hey, not everybody is as good as other people sometimes.
I know, but I mean, he don't have nothing to compare it to for the last 3 years. Like, how bad can it be?
I don't know. Nicole, how bad was it?
I do not believe that's what this was about.
I don't know, but he's gun shy now about moving in so much that they both have to keep their apartments for an additional 9 months after the 8 weeks.
Because I feel like this. Like, I'm not a proponent for married couples living apart or anything like that. But when you're in a process that's this expedited, and you have to make a decision that I certainly would feel was hasty at the 8-week mark. I feel like I would probably want that safety net too. And if things are going so incredibly well, we'll just move in. I'll either move into your place or you move into my place, and we'll just continue to pay the rent. We've both been paying our individual rent already anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't live it. You can pay it. You've been doing that. So pay it for the remainder of the 12 months, 10 months is left, or, whatever. Yeah. And then roll on out into the sunset. I mean, if your relationship is that good, at least being in place shouldn't kill it.
Yeah. No. That's not my issue. My issue is both of them jumped into a marriage unseen. So you're throwing, caution to the wind at this particular point. And so after the 8-week process, now let's play it safe. I'm on national TV. I got married to a stranger. I got cameras and producers following me around. And now all of a sudden, when this whole thing is over, let's play it safe. We may not be ready to move in with one another, but we were ready to do this expedited process to get married.
Yeah, because this is an experiment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very temporary.
Yeah.
Moving in with somebody, being married, moving in with somebody doesn't feel in any way as temporary. It feels permanent. And I think that, I don't know, like many people, that makes him nervous.
Yeah, I guess now you want to get nervous. But
they've only known each other for a week.
No, I get that. But I'm listening to everything that he's been saying up until this very point, and he has been more than ready for everything that marriage has to come that comes with marriage. Mm-hmm. He's been more than ready. He's saying all the right things. He's setting his boundaries. He's listening to her. He even knows how to make her be quiet for a second so he can get his word in. And so I'm just like, okay, he's coming with, and so I'm like, I'm getting it. But then all of a sudden he walks into the apartment on the show this week and he says, whoop, 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 slow down. I don't think we need to be living together right now. We need to be for sure, And so I'm just like, it just don't sound right to me. Out of everything, you know what? It's just kind of like Sesame Street. One of these things are not like the other. It is not adding up to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe she's overwhelming him by how frequently she asks him, would you say yes at decision day, or do you love me? Maybe that's kind of annoying. It would be annoying to me.
Yeah, yeah.
She said she asks him every day.
Yeah, say that. Chris, say that. You getting on my doggone nerves. Say something.
He said something. He said something.
Yeah.
We need to sign these leases.
There it is.
He definitely said that.
Yeah.
Now Nicole is not on board with that.
No.
Right.
She went along with it.
She went along with it, which she's the hothead, right? Like she's the one who's supposedly, gonna speak her mind, speak her truth, be very, outspoken and overwhelm him even. Mm-hmm. And that's not what we're seeing. So again, that screams at me, Nicole is desperate for this thing to work. She's going to make it work by any means necessary, even if it's to her own detriment, maybe. To her having to baby her spouse, to her having to live apart from her spouse. She's just going to her having to give up her dog. Mm-hmm. Temporarily, she's making all the sacrifices right now.
Right now, she is.
So I'd be interested to see, if that starts to wear thin during the course of this process, or if she's just going to get to the end goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this process has a way of really adding the pressure on. So to see her get to the end of the 8 weeks without really voicing, I don't want to do this and I don't like this. I don't see that happening. No, she's under pressure right now. She's gonna pop.
Desperation is a powerful thing.
You think she's that desperate?
Yeah. Y'all let me know what you think. She seems like she's very desperate, very needy for love, very needy for a man to, swoop in and be her guy. Remember now, she hadn't even met him yet, and she was already like, "Can I just walk up to the altar and tell him I love him?"
She did.
Really, I mean, she's, woo boy, is she desperate to me by my standards. That screams desperation. So
she did say that. But you know what? I got to give them a little bit of credit out of this season. They're the strongest couple we got, y'all. Who would have thought?
But they're
the strongest couple that we got.
Absolutely nothing does that say to me.
Nothing?
No. These couples are horrible.
They are horrible.
We'll get to them in our other little segments, but...
Yeah. Nicole and Chris, they're the best thing going. What else can you say?
I say, drop those comments below, guys. Let us know what you think about this couple. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.